Boom! What's up, Unlimited Lifers? Coach Corey here. Together we'll do it better. Today is day number 2 of the, what am I calling this? Like live lunch, right? Live lunch. So I started this yesterday because I just got done listening to Gary V's audio book called Crushing It, right? Crushing It. It's like the second version. The first one was like just Crush It. Now it's Crushing It. And anyway, he said, one of the biggest things is just to make content and do all kinds of stuff like that. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. Like right now, this is my idea. I'm just going to go live on lunch. Anybody that happens to hop on, they can ask questions or whatever. But in today's episode, inside of this episode, I wanted to share with you my first like entrepreneurial endeavor, whatever you want to call it, right? Journey. So if you guys have one, I want you to comment what it was below. Like, what was the first thing that you did on your own, business-wise? If you had any success with it or whatever, doesn't matter. But the reason that I wanted to do this one was because, again, I was listening to Gary V's podcast, and this isn't like just hyping up Gary V, because I really haven't started following him until I listened to his audiobook. But anyway, inside of this podcast that he was doing, I don't know what day it was, but he was talking about like he's looking for those people that like sold blow pops or whatever in high school or whatever in school, and that instantly like set a trigger because I actually did that, but it wasn't actually my first entrepreneurial endeavor. So for me, my very first endeavor when it comes to entrepreneurship was when I was, I think, probably like 4th grade. I think it was like around 4th grade anyway. I remember that inside my school we had a pencil machine inside the principal's office, or not the principal's office, but just the office, and it was 25 cents for a pencil, right? But the thing was, is on these pencils they had sports teams, so it was all NFL teams, like the San Francisco 49ers, the Cowboys, the Lions, all that kind of stuff. And what I noticed was a lot of the boys in school were like trading these things, like they're buying them from each other, they're trading them back and forth, whatever. So what I did was I went home. I ended up taking like all my mom's quarters. She used to have a basket of quarters next to her bed. And I remember taking like all of her quarters, which was like, I have no idea how much money it was. I didn't really keep track. But then what I did was I went to school, right? The next day I was the first one at school, and I went in the office and I bought every single pencil that was in that machine. So now I had the supply, right? Like that's lesson number 1 when it comes to business, is you gotta have supply and you gotta have demand. Now I already knew there was demand, because these other kids were already like buying them from each other and trading them with each other and all that kind of stuff. But nobody really had like the big supply. They're just buying one at a time or whatever and trading it back and forth. So now that I had the supply, I bought all of them. I knew that there was a demand. Now I got to set the price, which also kind of relates to supply and demand, was the fact that once I bought all the pencils, I knew how many of each team there was. So I would be able to set the price based on the fact of supply, right? So if there was only 3 Dallas Cowboy pencils, I could sell those for a lot more than I could if there was 6 or 7 of them, because I could actually show them to them, right? So that was a really cool learning experience for me. So I did that like over and over again. I did it for probably about a week, where I was buying and selling them. Some of them I sold it for as much as $2. Again, if I only got one of one team, I would sell that one for a much higher price than the ones that I got, several of. And then I would trade the ones that I got several of for some more that were more rare, like the ones that I didn't have. And I kept that up for, like I said, about 2 weeks, until one day I went in and found, like I was buying all the pencils, and then like a My Little Pony pencil came out or something. So at that point I knew my little entrepreneur endeavor was over, right? Because I no longer had the supply. The supply was at that point ended. So I don't know how much I made. I probably made $20 or something. It probably wasn't a ton of money that I made throughout it, but being a 4th grader, it was definitely a really cool experience. And then from there on out, man, my whole life has always been like this entrepreneurial mindset. Like I'm always looking for ways to hustle. I love the hustle. Right now, I do all kinds of side hustles. I buy and sell cars. I'm a mechanic by trade, so I can fix up cars that are cheap, turn around and sell them, flip them, make $500 to $1,000 pretty easy. I do all kinds of other stuff. I'm really starting to get into online marketing and digital marketing and all that kind of stuff. But that first experience, that first entrepreneur experience of me just selling pencils out of a pencil machine at my school was what got me going down the road. Obviously from there, I had a whole bunch of other journeys, and I'll probably come back and share some more, because, you know, I gotta have content, right? That's the whole purpose of doing these lives every day on lunch, is that you have to keep creating content every single day. So that was my very first experience when it comes to entrepreneurship. Tomorrow I'll come back and share with you my second entrepreneur journey, right? And then from there I'll just keep going like that probably each day, and then I'll also be sharing just random thoughts of the day. If anybody does happen to hop on and join live, you know, they can always comment, ask me questions below. But again, make sure you guys subscribe to this channel and leave a comment below. I want to know what the first thing was that you did on your entrepreneur journey. What was your first venture, right? So mine was selling pencils at school. I bought the pencils at the school, turned around and sold them, made 20, 30 bucks probably. And then that propelled me to the next journey of my entrepreneurship. So comment below in the comments or whatever what your first thing was, what your first venture was, how did it work out for you, whatever. Leave any questions you might have for me, and then make sure that you come back each and every day, guys, because I'm going to be doing this live on lunch every single day. Ask me questions live. I will answer them for you. And until then, guys, subscribe, like, share, turn on that notification bell, and we'll see you soon. All right, bye.